Before marriage, during marriage, and after separation, spouses may incur contract debts, tort debts, or support obligations. Also, recall that during marriage, both spouses generally have a right to manage and control community property. Implicit in that right is the ability to obligate the community to debts. Consequently, even during marriage, one spouse may commit to a debt without the other spouse's prior consent. It's important to know which property is liable for a debt's repayment. Specifically, if only one spouse incurs the debt, is just that spouse's separate property liable? What about community property and the other spouse's separate property? The answer depends on the type of debt and the circumstances in which it's incurred. The most common type of debts is contract debts, meaning debts that a person contractually commits themselves to. A contract debt is incurred when the contract is entered into, regardless of when payment is due. Contract debts incurred by either spouse before marriage are the responsibility of that spouse's separate estate and the community estate. For this video, the community estate refers to both community property and quasi-community property. The non-debtor spouse's separate estate isn't liable for the premarital debt, and the non-debtor spouse may protect his or her earnings from being liable for the debt, even though earnings are community property. The family code allows a non-debtor to insulate earnings by depositing them in a separate bank account where they aren't commingled with other community property and preventing the debtor spouse from having access to the account. The earnings are still characterized as community property, but they can't be reached by the debtor spouse's premarital creditors.